everybody.
Welcome back, and I am just getting all the pieces in this thing. This thing is hard as hell to make.
We just did have
a tier 5 rocket.
I was about to say we just did have enough palladium, but I guess you do have to go back and get that last little bit.
Yeah, I had to go back. Well, technically we would have had enough palladium. Oh shoot, we lost the rocket launch pads again because of you.
Because of me.
Because of you.
You fucker.
Do we actually have to make more?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I don't think we do.
Shit.
So you thought you were ready, but you were wrong.
Oh, wait. I have some in my backpack.
Oh.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, we, some of the palladium, you need to make the palladium into tier 5 plates, but you also need 8 pieces of just palladium, and I turned it all into tier 5 plates. So we have extra tier 5 plates and not enough palladium, so I had to go back and get more, which was really annoying. I'm going to put that extra palladium in there. Get rid of some of the stuff. Make sure I need to get another tesseract. This is a real one, yes. And a teleport pad.
I wonder what's different about the different space stations.
Oh, I don't know, because we haven't actually made one of those yet. We definitely should make one in like the next episode or something, because I would kind of like to know myself. This thing is still filling up, man. This thing is filling up slow as hell. Do you think it takes a lot more fuel to get to?
I bet so. I mean, it's way out there, right? Maybe. I don't actually know.
Where am I even going now? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Where's tier 5?
Where is tier 5?
I don't know, but I'm full. I'm launching. I like how this rocket is so big you can't even see yourself through the window.
Yeah, it's a little top of Jeff's head.
Yeah, you have to like tip the camera angle to look down in at an angle.
I'm waving.
You are waving. I see you. I see you waving. The chest is upset. The chest got burned. I don't know. I want to know why you're not ending up with these rockets. Let's see if I do.
Yeah, I've definitely not been so lucky as to actually have rockets.
Because that'd be really interesting if you were glitched somehow. Tier 5 rocket. Come on. Let's go.
So
Okay.
you said where we needed to get the crystal from, but I don't remember what you said. That's where you need to be going.
Oh, Uranus. I think we need the crystal from Uranus, but Uranus is tier 6.
Oh, shit.
This will get us to Saturn, which we can also make a space station around Saturn. Do you think a space station around Mercury would give us even higher yield than
See, that's
Mercury
what I was
itself?
wondering. That's what I was wondering. That's why I actually said that. Click on Mercury. Have you launched yet?
Oh, I just hit the launch button.
Did you bring the stuff you need?
Oh, I got a chest. I got a rocket. So suck on that.
Okay. Did you bring
yes,
the test?
Yeah, I brought the stuff I need. Oh, this is full of like pyrotheum.
What?
The rivers? Or no, is this glowstone dust? What is this? It's liquid glowstone. Is what's on this planet. Is all liquid glowstone.
That's interesting.
So what do we need liquid glowstone for? Could we just make a pump?
Yeah, but what the fuck do you do with it?
I don't remember what we needed it for. Yeah, I definitely got my rocket still, so I'm gonna go.
I mean, there's energized glowstone, but that's not the same as liquid glowstone.
Yeah, this is just liquid glowstone. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go to our.
Bucket.
I'm going to our very similar rock formation to set up base.
There's nothing you can do with the glowstone bucket, apparently.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem purposeful then.
No, it doesn't. All right, I'm gonna go downstairs and get. Where are we at now? Saturn.
Yes.
Okay, I think I put a.
Okay, this is space power. There's that, and this is going to go back to Earth Hub, but we're going to call this Saturn. And Earth Hub is set destination, so you should be able to come to Saturn now.
Okay, I'm just making a sign really quick so that the thing's labeled. It's very important.
Making sure I can come back home. Not a problem. Drop off this rocket. Yep, I'm home. Yeah, I want to know why you're not getting any rockets.
Well, I'm not going to planets anymore. You're in charge of that, because I am
It just
not.
it just doesn't make any sense that you keep losing our rockets, man.
I know.
Losing our
Oh, wait.
rockets.
I put down the sign thinking that was going to do something, but I need to actually fucking... There's a sign
Like,
now. Why don't you know where you're going?
Yeah, why don't you take me there? Come on, man. Dude, this what the hell? There's a parachest that's next to the launch pad
Yeah?
that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 6 inventory slots.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that from one of the ones we added chests to? Maybe they get more inventory slots?
I don't know. Really strange.
This liquid glowstone's cool. Does every fucking planet have to have magma cubes, though?
Yes.
Yes, this is a requirement.
I'm just letting you know what the creators obviously did. He said yes, they have to have.
I'm gonna go
Those
put my
guys.
feet in the glowstone and see what happens.
So now I'm gonna look up the tier 6 rocket.
Oh, it gave me an effect. It gave me slowness. Great.
Awesome slowness. Tier 6 rocket needs tier 6 heavy duty plates, which are tier 5 heavy duty plates with compressed magnesium. Don't we already have compressed magnesium?
Yeah, that comes from Saturn, though. That's what we've been using to make the new stuff.
Yeah, is that just one of those things that the
Yeah,
thing the laser drill happens to get?
right. And it is black, like copper. I mean, like copper. Black like copper.
Black. Whenever I describe the color black to people, I'm always like, it's black like copper.
Yes, black like coal.
Let's see. So now I guess I gotta go do my job again, right?
Yeah. Like,
I'm gonna
I
find-
think that things that turn into many more of the same thing are the most annoying of things.
What if it was many things that when you attacked them, they combined into one big thing?
That would be
instead?
way better, because then I would have only one object to kill. Right?
I mean, eventually. But in theory, when you're attacking the big thing that turns into many small things, that is one object to kill.
Yeah, but then it turns into a bunch of things to kill. Like, I've already done my job. You're making my job again.
Is it your day off too?
Yes, exactly.
Found what? No.
Correct.
There's just a freaking hole in the ground in the top of a ravine. That looks like a dungeon hole. Blow it out your dungeon hole. I was so excited. I so thought I found one so quick.
This glowstone that we have here, I wonder where it came from. Because it's
You
about
said it gave you a slowness effect. I don't need to get in then. Well, everybody knows that Saturn is filled with glowstone.
right.
Like common knowledge. I mean, you don't even have to cite when you write a paper because everybody knows that. I guess the question is, are there dungeons on this planet? My assumption would be yes, but I didn't look that up.
Are there other places we can go with the tier 5 rocket?
I don't believe so.
There's got to be then, right? I don't know if there's got
Yeah.
be, but I feel like
Maybe
there's
I'll say maybe at one point the creator was like, you know what? Finding this stuff in dungeons is a little old.
you got to trade for it with villagers that don't speak to you.
Yes. You have to convince them that you're worth talking to somehow. Do you think one of these planets is going to have liquid, liquid redstone?
That'd be cool.
And I've gone. Oh,
Did you
we
ever
got
play?
pretty far
Did
away.
you ever play Muds?
Yeah, back in the day. Not too much. I had some friends that were really into muds, and I kind of take one of those. I'm a real techie geek, and I used to get on a lot of bulletin board systems.
Huh?
And I had a lot of fun playing stupid things like, food. I'm sure you played BBSs before, or was not BBSs before. I played like Food Fight and Legend of the Red Dragon and all that stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But when it came to MUDs, it was that whole concept of like World of Warcraft, but obviously without the graphics. But
Yeah.
I felt when I started so low that I could just never catch up, so I got really deterred from even trying.
Man, I was addicted to that shit. I think I've told you tons of these stories before where I programmed a thing to play the game for me.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me that.
Oh yeah, me and this guy, his name was Trevelyan. That's
real name?
No, that was his character name.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that would be a weird real name, right?
It would be. I'm not saying I dislike it, actually. It's kind of cool, but I've just never heard a real person named Trevelyan before.
Yeah, I whenever they were going to reset the server, I had been writing a program to level like an alt character, to where it would just go through each zone and kill a certain mob over and over again, and then just level up or whatever. And then since they were going to reset the thing, I finished it off to where every zone in the game had a mob it would kill, and it would just go from zone to zone to zone and level you up. And so the moment they reset the server, I implemented this with him as well. I gave him the same stuff and just programmed it slightly different for his character type.
And you guys were top of the...
Oh god, we were so far ahead that we ended up getting the GM started taking over the mobs that we were farming, and they killed us a couple times while we were sleeping, basically. And then of course my script couldn't account for dying, so it just messed up, and so
it kept sending commands to the server.
Well, because it's just a bunch of if you see this in the text, do this, that that sort of stuff. So it didn't have any command. There was no if that was triggered off. So after so much inactivity, it would just get DC'd. So they couldn't keep killing us over and over again because we ended up DCing. So then the next day we get on, and then they had outlawed us in every town. So no matter what town we went into, all the guards and everything tried to murder us, because we were 50 levels higher than anyone else so far, that it was just ridiculous. And the guards in half the cities, the major cities, weren't set up to be high enough level to deal with players of the top tier. So we end up just running through the cities killing everyone, and we didn't care about the loot because we didn't need it. And so it destroyed balance on the server, because all these low level people that had just started, they were getting all this loot from all these guards and shit. We just destroyed the whole thing, and then they banned us for life.
So what enjoyment did you get out of it, or was it just to see if you could type of deal?
Well, at that point, I'd played the game for years, right? And so, when you tell me you're going to reset the server and everything, it's well, I want to get back to because the things I enjoy is, there was still so much content that we had never actually completed at the top tier, certain dragons. I remember there was, certain dragons you had to, farm a Medusa to get a Medusa head to get to a certain phase of the dragon, to, stun it at a certain point with the Medusa head, and just all this crazy stuff. And, we'd only done some of it, and we were the top players on the server, so, no one had done it, basically. And so it didn't really feel like it needed to be a character reset, at least obviously
from your perspective.
Yeah,
right.
So we just wanted to get back to what we were already working on, really, progression wise. And so it's all right, well, we just need to get through all this bullshit to get there again. Kind of like what you're saying, you don't want to. It's hard to sit there and be farming rats in the sewer for 10 hours, sort of thing. So yeah.
Right. Have you ever played Guild Wars?
No.
Or Guild Wars 2, I guess. I've never played it either, but my buddy's really into Guild Wars, and he was telling me that part of the way that it works is there's a spawn town, or a beginning stage that once you reach level, there's a certain level that you can't max past, and then you start the game, quote unquote. But it's kind of the safe village with the easy animals to kill, and this is what teaches you how to play the game or something like that. I don't quite understand it, but then once you leave it, you can never come back, and you actually get into the game itself. Mm-hmm. But it's still a multiplayer world, so I guess people decided they wanted to take over this world and continue to level up. And the only way to level up, because you can't fight enemies, you have to let enemies, or you can't fight other players in this area. You have to let enemies kill you, and the enemies themselves gain experience from killing you. What? So I guess they would spend like the day having their character keep respawning in a spot where like this level 1 slug was at. And he'd go to work and let his character constantly just keep respawning after getting killed to let this level 1 slug in this area build up to a level, and he'd get home from work and kill it for some extra experience points.
That's ridiculous. Why would you want to stay in this area?
I don't know, because I never played the game, so there was, I guess, some.
I mean, I guess it's more like
reason?
a status thing. I think that's what I'm at.
It might be.
It's like, look at me, I'm the highest level guy in the start zone.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I do think the concept of the enemies actually gaining experience from killing is kind of cool.
Yeah, I never heard of that. I like that.
But I don't know enough about the game to know if it was any good. Yeah, you know, Seth Bling wrote that mud.
I wrote a mud too. That's what him and I have in common.
Did you guys both post it on the same site?
No. But we have looked at each other's code and played each other's muds and stuff. Mud buddies.
I've never written a mud. I know all of my buddies who were into muds, their whole goal for being on the mud was to become one of the gods.
Yeah.
Is that what they called them?
That was the other thing that happened in that mud I played. Like, there was this girl, her name was Candace. I went to high school with her. And she ended up, like, sleeping with a bunch of the gods in real life and then becoming a god. And that happened all about the same time I was getting banned and stuff. So a lot of things happened all at the same time that really made me, like, disillusioned by the whole thing and not really care so much anymore.
So was your mud local?
No, it wasn't. It just so happened that a lot of us were because it's like our group of people that started playing all started playing because we worked tech support at an ISP, and she happened to date one of the guys that worked at the place.
What was your? Do you remember what your mud was called?
Yeah,
or do you want to say it?
Yeah, Errant Destiny. It's still online actually. I looked recently.
I'm trying to think of the one that two of my friends got really into, and the female one of them was in multiple relationships with many of the people on there, but I think it was all virtual. I don't think she ever actually.
Yeah, like when I made my character, the guy at the ISP told me to make a girl character because people would give me stuff. So my character was Laven. Was my character name?
And did people give you stuff?
No, it didn't work out like that.
Did you tell them that you were a female?
I mean, for like the first,
I'm a dude. My name's Laven.
Yeah, right. No, for the first bit, yeah, I actually did. I played. I wasn't like, hello, look at me. But you know, I mean, if anyone asked, I was like, yeah, just a new girl, you know.
Oh my god, another one of those fucking. I don't think there's dungeons on this planet.
Because you can't find one? Is it
I
because you
can't
suck at your
find
job?
one. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get fired, man. I need to go on unemployment. I'm gonna build a wall around this planet.
Yeah. The reason why I brought this up is you were talking about the villagers, and you reminded me there was this this wizard quest. There was this drunken wizard that wandered through this town, and he had a flying disc, and you used to be able to farm the wizard to
a flying disc. You said correct?
Yes, disc.
Okay, just making sure. A disc.
And you used to be able to farm him and get it. And it was one of the things that, like, because, you know, like, there's, like, movement points. And so every time you move, you use some of your stamina to move or whatever. But the disc made you fly permanently. So you didn't need to do that anymore. And, like, you know, like, mages could cast fly or whatever. But anyways, it made you fly permanently. And at some point they removed it. And you couldn't, whenever you killed him, he didn't drop it anymore. And he was super powerful after that. Like, he had, like, every fucking buff in the game. Like, you name it, he had it. And I played a mage. Laven was a mage, and so you know, mages aren't meant to like be like the warrior, the tank, or whatever to actually take on bosses. Well, I became obsessed with, like, I was told by one of the gods that you could still get the flying disc, and it would give you all the buffs, and that there was one item in the game that you had to give to the wizard in order for him to to give you. He would just hand you his disc if you disc if you if you gave him the right item.
He was like, "Hey, Laven, here's my disc."
Yeah, I hear you're a lady.
This will keep you up forever.
This almost got me fired from my job at as a system administrator because I ended up writing a database. Like we had this free hosting service that we could use at AIT, the place I was a system administrator at. That like any employee could host a website on. So I hosted this database, and I actually taught myself like MySQL and stuff through this, which I ended up later using to write their fucking cancellation database to save. Like they were trying to like. I think I've told you this story too before, where they were trying to lower our income based on cancellations for system administrations. They were like, we're having too many cancellations and we think it's your fault, so we're going to dock your pay based on how many cancellations. So, and like at that time, the way cancellations worked is like people would fucking had to fax in their cancellations, so there wasn't any kind of like queryable database to see why people were canceling, what server they were canceling. There was no good way to tally, like to collate data. So yeah, I taught myself MySQL to write this fucking database so I could like keep track of every item in the game and see which ones I had given to the wizard. And eventually, I got the fucking disc from him, and it made me basically a god. Like nothing in the game could kill me. I was invisible, hidden. Like you couldn't even see I was online. Like nothing could kill me, and that pissed off the gods too. Like the guy that like owned the whole server or whatever ended up taking it away from me because I was invincible.
So like, how do these? If there's these items that make people invincible that the gods can take away from you, why do they exist?
Right, that was the dumb thing. Apparently, he had put it in the game because he wanted one of his alts to have it. That he actually played the game with, but basically he didn't want to have to actually, ever worry about dying or whatever. So he had made it available, but he didn't think anyone would ever figure out how to get it. And it just so happened that one other god that was a nice guy that I would talk to, on occasion, had told me that
you were the lady.
No, he knew I was a guy. At this point, and me playing on the show, everyone knew I was a guy. I'd played, I was known. I was the head of the good guild, and like because there was like different factions of good and bad, and I was the head of the Angels of Mercy was the name of the guild. But yeah, so at my job, though, they found my fucking database, and they thought I was building. They were like, no one would spend this much time developing something like this just for fun. So this is obviously a conflict of interest, and you're taking on work for another client, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to fire you. And I was like... No, this is just for me to fucking track the wizard item, and they would not believe me.
Wait, what? They wouldn't believe you with a story like that, Guude? but this is for me to track the wizard item, the flying disc that my lady Laven wants to get from these gods.
I mean, who makes up that story? I mean, you can look at the damn database and see what it's tracking. Like, I don't know. It was fucking ridiculous.
It is true that who makes up that story is kind of a good defense to an extent. But... So I just looked it up while I'm waiting for my jetpack to recharge because it's empty. It does say the Tier 6 schematic comes from a dungeon on Saturn.
Wow, so you just gotta find the dungeon.
I don't know if dungeons are different on Saturn. Like, are they in the sky?
I just look to the skies.
I don't know.
Well, in the time that I've rambled here and you've listened to my shitty story, I've gathered almost 2 stacks of magnesium. So
well, that's good. Here's dungeon bricks. Let me look for... What of these even looks like. No, God, I just want to know what the Saturn dungeon is. Do the dungeons. Saturn enters Scorpio. Portland School of Astrology. I don't think that's what I'm looking for.
That sounds right.
Yes. It sounds just like it's... Oh, Jesus. Saturn dungeon brick. it doesn't have a picture online either, so I can't even tell you what it looks like. This wiki literally says that Saturn Dungeon Brick makes up the walls of Saturn Dungeons and shows a picture of a block with a question mark over it.
It's gold. You can see it in the game. Oh, and you're going to be really sad.
You find one?
No, I found what the boss is, though.
Oh. Is it like Evolved Skeleton Boss Saturn?
It's Creeper.
What?
Again, yep. If you just type in Saturn in NEI, it shows all the stuff on Saturn, and yep.
No.
Spawn Creeper Boss Saturn. Yeah, I'm really disappointed about that, actually. I really thought that we were getting new bosses here.
What's the next one? The next planet after Saturn is Uranus. Uranus doesn't have a...
There's a dungeon brick, but there's no boss. Maybe we're getting a new boss there.
Or maybe we're not getting a...
No boss at all.
It's just you walk into the dungeon and they're like, here, take my disc. My flying disc.
Here we go. Spawn Evolved Ice Slime Boss. I bet that one's that. But I will say that there's Saturn... Spawn Creeper Boss Neptune, Spawn Creeper Boss Pluto, Spawn Creeper Boss Ares.
What the... Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, the only two different ones here is the Magma Cube boss and the Evolved Ice Slime boss. So we're only going to get one more boss.
Did they give up?
It feels like that, doesn't it?
It does. Like, I mean, the concept that Jupiter had a really cool lightning storm. Saturn's filled with glowstone. I mean, they obviously were doing things. Why skimp out on the boss? Or even if you're going to skimp out on the boss, why would you make all of them be Creeper boss? Why not make...
I feel like that's the worst boss from the base game.
I agree. But why not make, like, the skeleton boss again, or... Is that the only other boss there was? Dang.
Well, we're out of time. I guess in between episodes, maybe we'll find
another dungeon. Find a dungeon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.